What if a group of rebels forced a king to kneel before the law? On a quiet meadow near the River Thames in 1215, one of the most important documents in history was signed, Magna Carta. It was a moment that shook the foundations of absolute power and planted the first seed of modern democracy. The story begins with a king in trouble. King John of England was deeply unpopular. He'd lost wars, raised taxes without consent, and punished his enemies ruthlessly. Nobles and barons were fed up. They weren't fighting for freedom in a modern sense, but they were tired of being bullied by their own monarch. By June 1215, tensions had reached a boiling point. The barons rebelled, marched on London, and forced John to negotiate. On June 15th at Runnymede, they presented a list of demands: protection from illegal imprisonment, fair taxation, and limits on the king's power. Reluctantly, John agreed and sealed the Magna Carta. At first glance, it seemed like a peace treaty, but buried in its Latin text was a revolutionary idea: the king was not above the law. Here's a surprising fact. The Magna Carta was annulled by the Pope just weeks later, and civil war erupted. Yet the idea survived. Over the centuries, the document was reissued and reshaped, its most radical clauses echoing through time. One clause in particular laid the groundwork for habeas corpus. No one could be imprisoned without a fair trial. Magna Carta didn't create democracy overnight, but it changed the conversation forever. It inspired thinkers, revolutionaries, and entire nations. The founding fathers of the United States quoted it. Civil rights activists echoed it. Even today, it's cited in courts as a symbol of liberty and justice. More than 800 years later, we still feel its impact. Whenever we demand transparency, due process, or freedom from tyranny, we're drawing from the spirit of that muddy field in 1215. So here's the question. If a group of angry nobles could hold a king accountable, what can we do when power goes unchecked?